The stakeholder engagement meeting organized by Ministry of East African Affairs is aimed at finding out the challenges faced by the communities living along the Uganda-South Sudan border, especially Yumbe and Moyo districts, so as to present the challenges to the East African community leaders to be resolved. Maurere Abe, the manager, Customs Northern Uganda, reveals that the porous borders have caused a lot of problems to the country since many people cross into the country illegally and tend to avoid being checked for illegal items, which pose a security threat to the public, and the smuggled fuel tends to disrupt the registered fuel businesses within the country, which retards development.
Porous borders have really disturbed us as Uganda Customs, because when we have people passing through porous borders, then it means they are missing out on our checks to confirm what is being brought into the country. Sometimes people who use porous borders have hidden dangerous materials like guns and bullets, and they bring them into the country. One of the RDCs mentioned about people who go to the camp and they kill their friends and run back to South Sudan. Those people definitely don't use the customs border. They pass through those porous borders. And also we have struggled with the issue of fuel which transits through to South Sudan and then it is brought back. That fuel most times has not paid the requisite taxes in our country, and because of the difference in the tax regimes, the tax regime in South Sudan is a bit lower than the one of Uganda. So when that fuel is brought back here, it can be sold at a much lower price than the one being sold at our petrol stations. Remember, these petrol stations are providing employment to our people. Those are business people who are already paying income tax to URA. So the smugglers are disadvantaging them and they may push them out of work. Therefore, we shall lose taxes and we shall also lose employment for our local people who are employed at those petrol stations.
Sekamwa Julian, the Deputy Resident District Commissioner Moyo, said the district experiences illegal entry and exit due to the existence of the porous borders, but said they have managed to deploy the Uganda People's Defense Forces along the borders so as to curb the cases of illegal entry and smuggling, which affects the economy of both Uganda and South Sudan.
Because of the challenge of the border not being clearly demarcated, we have the challenge of in and out movements through ungazetted border points. What we do is intensifying the deployment using our security forces, that is UPDF. It's mandated to protect our borderlines, but also continuously engaging our counterparts in Kajokeji, because this smuggling and illegal movements also affect them as much as they affect us. So we need to synchronize our approaches so that we can deal with the problem from home and across. So that is what we are doing.
Honorable Asiku Kasim, the district speaker, Yumbe District Local Government, urged the two countries to engage at an international level and demarcate the border so as to put an end to the conflicts affecting the different communities who live along the border lines.
So my key recommendation is that as we have resolved on some of those issues being discussed at our level, the two countries of South Sudan and even the Republic of Uganda, the heads of state, at a later time must also now discuss at their level to ensure that the demarcation of the border points and the boundary between the people of South Sudan and now Uganda should be resolved. If the demarcation of the international boundary will be undertaken by the two countries, I am quite sure some of the challenges we are experiencing here will finally get resolved.
Oluport Lazarus, the Senior Regional Integration Officer, Ministry of East African Affairs, outlined the objectives and the purpose of the stakeholder engagement meeting.
It's purposely to see as a country how can we elevate the challenges that have been causing community conflicts, especially at communities and districts bordering Uganda and South Sudan. So the major objective is to understand the underlying factors that are fueling these conflicts, and that's why we cause the stakeholder engagement, specifically colleagues and ministries, departments and agencies that are in the security and peace sector.
Dominic Anthony Okumu, West Nile TV, Nilecast.